The roots of attainments come from the vows. And all vows that we hold, the roots of attainment, they are the roots of attainment. How do we get a tokpa? Tokpa in Tibetan is attainments. How do we get an attainment? We get an attainment by, you need a cause. It isn't just simply doing your sadhana, it isn't simply doing mantras, it isn't simply doing prayers, it isn't simply making offerings, it isn't simply just doing retreats. Those are very good, but I want to stress again that those are just sign. It helps you, but it's not really the method. So what I'm trying to say is, prior to your higher teachings, because I do have plans, what I'm doing now is I want to slowly lead all of us. Slowly is just a reference in time. It can be 10 years, it can be 5 years, it can be 1 year, it can be 2 months, 3 months. I want to lead us into higher, more esoteric practices of Dharma. And the reason for that is this. I don't want to have a little esoteric clique. I do not want to have a little esoteric kind of group. I don't want to be different. I don't want to be special. And definitely when we do those practices, I do not want us to run around parade showing that we have it. I want it to be totally quiet and secret because that would create humility. So I want to lead our group into that. I do not need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. If you look at the illustrious lamas of the past, they only had one disciple, they passed on to. We hear that. So in any case, some had hundreds of disciples, thousands, some had a few. But it doesn't destroy the luster because sometimes through the students the Dharma grow. Sometimes through the Lama, sometimes combination, it doesn't matter. So I would like all of us to be led into esoteric, and esoteric meaning secret. Secret meaning not just secret from other people. Secret meaning hitting the secret within us. The secret within us that actually creates us to have suffering and unhappiness and problems and difficulties. So when you say esoteric, it refers to secret. Secret in Tantra or esoteric or tantric practices has nothing to do with secret as you're doing something illegal or bad or negative or harmful. It has to do with hitting the esoteric within you, the esoteric, the secret within you that we hide from others, that we block from others, that we defend, that we control, we cover, and we do that lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It isn't just this lifetime. If we do it in this lifetime, it's a very strong indication that we've been doing it in previous lifetimes because we have that habituation. So therefore, it's easy to do it. So if we do these kind of actions that are easy, in fact, let's not just say negative. Any actions that you find easy is something you're used to in previous lives. So if you think, oh, I'm geared toward getting a lot of great books and I just want to totally study. Definitely you're some kind of scholar, you study or something along that line. And if you're into business and you like to make cash and money for good and bad reasons, maybe in many previous lives you were sponsors, you were helpers, you assisted, and if you're in Dharma now, maybe that's what you're doing. It's not necessarily negative or positive. It is a fact. Whatever we're used to doing now, on the outer level, inner level, and on a secret level. Secret, again, let me reiterate, means the things that make us actually operate and do and not do that no one can see and that we know that is inside of us, that we carry from one lifetime after another lifetime. So in order to catch that, we need a method that's very swift, powerful. And swift and powerful meaning what? The swiftness and the power of what comes from you. The swiftness and power meaning it is a direct opponent to the secret within us that makes us unhappy. So when you do secret practices, it's a direct remedy to the secret problems that we have, the secret illusions and illusions. So when we talk about secret, we shouldn't have any pride or ego or any kind of we're somebody, we got initiation and run around, and definitely we should never run around telling people unless it's totally necessary. We should act in fact blur. So that's very important. That's what secret means. That's what secret actually means. So you do not get the wrong idea. And on top of that, yes, it is secret and esoteric. Why? When you deal with the actual secret problems of the person, secret doesn't mean they're evil. Secret means what's deep down inside that's been there for lifetime after lifetime, that creates all their difficulties. So when you actually do that, and you confront them, or you tell them, or you explain, or you share with them, that's when you ask for trouble. When you actually tell someone, hey, don't eat like that, don't slurp. Some people might get offended, some people might not. Some people, oh, thanks, sorry, I'm so embarrassed. Because it depends on the level of their mind. If their ego is totally, really big, they'll get even offended if you tell them, please don't slurp, please don't fart. So on an outer level, when you tell people things like that, how they react shows you the level of their mind. And then on the inner level, when you tell them things like, oh, you shouldn't do that to your girlfriend, oh, you shouldn't do that to your dog, you shouldn't abuse your kids, you shouldn't do that. That's things that people can see, but it's not as easy as outer, like farting. And then when you tell them and how they react, you're getting a little deeper. And then you're going into, you're going towards, not at the edge of the lake, towards the center. But the center of the lake where you can actually drown, it's metaphorical, is when you actually tell them their secret problems and you confront them. Or you create a situation for them to see. And that is the most scary part, because those who face, avert, and overcome, it's going to be a huge stepping stone for their practice. Happiness in life, harmony with their friends, with their family, with themselves, destroying lack of self-confidence, low self-esteem, and it goes even higher to you get peace. And then when you reach that, from that outpours, like a lava coming out of a volcano, outpours all your actions, everything will completely transform. Completely. And so what's important is that secret aspect that's inside of us. You need a secret antidote. You need a secret method. Secret doesn't mean hidden, only hidden. Secret meaning a direct antidote to something that is a direct antidote to that affliction. So if you use outer methods, middling methods, to hit that secret level, it will be effective to a certain point, but not totally effective, because if you have tuberculosis and you take fever and headache medicine, it helps, but the fever and headache comes back. You see, it's temporary. So if we have a very secret delusion within us, and it's very strong, delusions, plural, which all of us do, otherwise we wouldn't be in samsara, definitely we would not be in samsara. Then doing prostrations, listening to the Dharma, chanting, discussing, reading, studying, meditation, mandala offerings, making offerings, pilgrimage, making donations like offering gold, etc. on temples, decorational objects, whatever, it does definitely help. But the problem is, it's not a direct antidote. It's not direct. And therefore, if we only rely on those paths and those methods, it is very good, but it's not a direct antidote. Therefore, even after many years of chanting, sadhanas, prayers, mantras, offerings, initiations, ceremonies, listening, studying, meditating, you will not make leaps and bounds on your secret mind, or the secret causes of suffering, secret causes. You will not make leaps and bounds. You cannot, because it's not a direct opponent. And therefore, the Holy One, the sage, Lord Buddha says, elucidated by the great Nagarjuna, said that if we start at Hinayana, we must enter Mahayana. If we enter Mahayana, we must enter Tantrayana. If we abandon Hinayana and Mahayana, we enter Tantrayana, then we have to practice Tantra, we have to practice Hinayana, Mahayana, and Tantrayana simultaneously. There is no way to achieve any goal without those three paths all combined. It's very, very important to know. So therefore, one cannot be without the other. One is dependent on the other, and they're interrelated. And every single teaching, every single method that the Buddha taught is meant to lead you eventually to enlightenment. So whether you are chanting, it will lead you to enlightenment eventually. The difference is the amount of time. If you meditate in a cave on the 6 yogas of Naropa, you will lead you to enlightenment. But how fast depends on you and your practice, your imprints, your dedication, and how much you want to put into it. So every single item that Buddha has taught is a method to cessation of suffering, attainments, and what is that for? Enlightenment. So I heard a very, very interesting question that came back to me, and I was very happy. Whether we can get enlightened by being a very excellent monk includes a sangha. And the answer is yes. You can become enlightened. Why? It will take much longer, because when you hold the vows of a monk or a nun perfectly, you collect incredible merits. And then you subdue your outer delusions, drinking, singing, alcohol, all these funny things that distract you. And from the collection of great merits, it will propel you to enter into the higher paths and the higher practices. You don't have to say, I will. You can think, I'm going to be a good monk for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be a good monk for my next life. Just that type of mind generation and that mind generation and that effort that's put towards that will create a great waves of merit. And then you say, I'm going to be a great monk, I'm going to be a great nun for the sake of I can absorb other people's sufferings and difficulties and problems. And so I can bring them to happiness and enlightenment by my restraining myself. Then you have the Mahayana motivation. And therefore, when you have that, it propels your merits even more. So therefore, whether you want to be enlightened or not, whether that's your goal or not, if you want it, it's faster. If you don't want it, it still leads you there, because every fragment of Buddha's teachings leads you to enlightenment. Cessation of suffering, prior to that, happiness. Everything. So even offering 1 cup of water to an enlightened being is a cause for us to become enlightened. Of course, it could be 60 aeons later, as compared to if you do tantric practices, it could be 1 aeon or a few lifetimes. But it still leads you there nevertheless. Nevertheless.